So as you can see, I have a new painting on the way. I finished it yesterday, and it's about to sort of go online. So anyway, here's a few books which I have been reading for the project. Well, not necessarily for the project itself, but they do help. Here's Zecharia Sitchin's The Wars of God and Men. Now this book's about, basically, according to all the ancient texts and things, there have been wars going on before human beings existed. Now that might seem very strange to a lot of people, and it really depends if you believe in God or gods or not. It might seem quite strange to believe that there was wars before humans were created. Now, this book seems to, it goes into the idea that we were created for the idea of being a slave race. But that's not really, I don't know yet if that's going to play a part in this actual oracle or not, but one thing that does interest me about this book in particular was the wars of man, the wars of God, actually, gods, and especially a part called, where's it now? The Nuclear Holocaust, which was Sodom and Gomorrah. I find that particularly interesting because I've been reading the Bible for a long time. I don't know how many years, probably, well, maybe 10 or 11 years. So I know quite a lot about it, because when I say I've been reading it, when I say I've been reading it, I actually have been reading it. So the nuclear holocaust thing is quite interesting because it does make a lot of sense. I'm going to do a card on that actually for the Oracle deck, because a lot of the ideas behind the Ancient Astronaut theory involves missiles and nuclear weapons. Some which devastated entire cities, and some which actually forgetful. Some which were strong enough to end the world or maybe blow the universe. I know it sounds kind of very simplistic, but these weapons were quite powerful. I did try reading this here. It's quite difficult. Gods of the Celts by Miranda Green. It's quite a difficult read. Not because it's difficult language, it's just it wasn't really. I suppose I was looking more for the mythologies rather than sort of a theological discussion. This is very good. I would highly recommend this if anybody's interested. It's Myths from Mesopatamia. It also includes the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is, quite a story. But it has all the stuff, Atrahasis. So as I was saying, myths from Mesopotamia. This book, The Myths from Mesopotamia, is I would recommend it because as far as trying to figure out the ancient past, I know this may just be someone's idea of a narrative, a story to teach younger people in those days. However, it was far more difficult to produce writing instruments, and you know, it's a more difficult process. So I'm led to believe that a lot of these stories, maybe even in symbolism, and maybe they were created symbolically, but I do think some of this maybe happened in the past, to the point where I don't know if there's anywhere where Moses was, it doesn't say exactly, to my knowledge, where Moses got his ideas to create the Torah, to create the 5 books, the 5 first books in the Bible. It is said that he may have borrowed it from the library in Alexandria, because he was brought up in Egypt, and maybe would have had access to the Library of Alexandria. So a lot of these stories are very similar to what is written in the Bible, with the exception of God being the main being in the Bible, and in this case these are the gods being in these books. However, I have read, and I don't really know because I don't know Hebrew, the name God in some instances in the Bible is Elohim, which is plural for gods. I don't know if that's exactly true or not, but I've read that in various places. If that is the case, it would be translated as the gods made Adam and Eve, which would sort of would match up to this book, Myths from Mesopatamia. Anyway, as you can probably tell, I'm not very good at all this interview or video stuff, so please forgive me. Now, this book here I would recommend also is called the Mahabharata. Now, I won't attempt to pronounce this author's name because it's quite lengthy and difficult. It's a good book, and I think this version in particular is more of it's told in a story as opposed to literal word for word text from the Sanskrit. But it goes on to talk about the Pandavas. They were against, I can't remember now, hold on. The Pandavas and the Kauruva. Pandavas and the Kauruva were basically at war with each other. I've read it probably 4 or 5 months ago maybe, and so it's a bit sketchy, but I remember it's a very good book, and I like to think it helps you. Well, it helps you be a better person, I think. Helps you in that way, but also helps you try and understand different beliefs around the world. And that's a whole other topic which I might go into eventually. It's more of a plea to all Christians, I suppose, to be kind to those of other religions. I suppose that's what the topic would be if I ever do. Because whenever you look at the various religions around the world, to my knowledge, they always have a good message. They're trying to teach the listener something good to live by. Surely that can't be evil, you know. Now, this book I would recommend for the purposes of the Ancient Astronaut theory. These are just some of the books which have inspired the making of this oracle deck. Thank you for watching. I know this video was quite lengthy, and the sound quality is not very good either, but I appreciate you for watching and the support that you have given me.